What's up, Star Circle? It's your girl K-Star, and I'm back with another video for y'all. It's Star Circle Sunday, and it's also Easter, so happy Easter to y'all. The topic of the day is overcoming heartbreak, y'all. I just want to encourage everybody to just always be optimistic about the future despite what's ever happened in your past. Life is full of hope and opportunity if you believe it is. If you don't believe that it is, that's what you're going to continue to attract. And despite my relationships that I've had not being the best relationships, I truly believe that I'm going to meet the right guy one day, and I'm going to have a future with someone, a bright future with someone, despite my past, because us as females, we need to, we need to know what we want at the end of the day. That's really what it comes down to. We need to know what we want. We need to know our strengths and weaknesses, things we need to work on. We also need to deal with emotional baggage that we've had in the past. We need to, just move on. This is really just to encourage my females out there. If you've dated guys in the past who didn't treat you right, or, just you know that you deserved better. This is dedicated to y'all because we need to know our value and our worth, guys. And at the end of the day, it's not always the guy's fault why it didn't work out. Sometimes it's you. Sometimes you got things wrong with you, and that's why it didn't work out. That you need to deal with. So I want to acknowledge that right now. Like, let's not always blame the guy for why situations didn't work. And I'm gonna open up and tell y'all, the real on my behalf as well. Like, if I've done things wrong, I'm not afraid to admit that I was wrong. It's all about growth and maturity at the end of the day. And I'm gonna tell y'all some really, really personal things that I haven't shared with a lot of people. I'm pretty sure my mom is probably gonna look at this video like, really, Kelly? Like, you gonna share this stuff? Like, this is really, really personal. But I want to share it because I know there's girls out there that have been through these situations, you know what I mean? Or probably can relate to some of the things that I'm saying. I know the first situation is a little rare, but before I get into the story, y'all, I do want to say that I'm pretty much going to be comparing me being single as a teenager versus me being single as an adult, because I think it's important to analyze the two different psychological things that happen as you mature. I'm just gonna be real open and honest with y'all. I'm gonna be real raw with y'all. I'm not gonna sugarcoat nothing. I'm gonna try to make this video as short as possible. I'm not gonna be going into every single little detail, because I don't want to keep y'all here forever. Here we go, y'all. We're gonna get into it. So, starting off, first of all, I was a tomboy growing up. Like, I played basketball. I was into school. That was like my thing. And of course, I told you I was a closet singer, in my room and stuff like that. But like, I wasn't really interested in boys. Like, I had crushes, like little innocent crushes or whatever, like when I was like in middle school and things like that. But they were just little innocent crushes. Like, I didn't want to talk to a guy. I didn't want to date a guy. Like, no, that was the furthest thing from my mind. I wasn't interested in talking to guys until I got to high school. When I was 15 years old, I was a sophomore. I met this guy at a football game. It was his school playing Birchton versus Middle Township. He was with his friends, I was with my friends. We saw each other in passing, boom. And then after the game, everybody would go to McDonald's, and I saw him again, and he came up to me and asked me for my number. So, like, I gave it to him. We were talking on the phone, and he told me he was a senior in high school and he was about to leave to play basketball in college in Iowa. I was a sophomore. I was still a baby, and he lived 45 minutes away from me. And my parents were really strict on me growing up, so I wasn't allowed to date yet. And so we didn't really see each other a lot. I became like infatuated with him because he loved music, I loved music. You know, he played basketball, I loved basketball, you know, and he was fine. So I was a basketball manager for the boys team in my high school, and we ended up going to his school, and we saw each other again, and there was just chemistry between us, you know, and I had like just the biggest crush on him. Like, I was seriously infatuated with this boy. I saw him play basketball for the first time, and like, he was a beast. He was the star of the team. You know, he literally got his 1,000 points that year. We continued to stay in touch, but he graduated high school and went to college, you know, and he told me that, you know, he ended up telling me that I was young and that he wanted to date me when I graduated high school because of all the restrictions I had. Like, I was, you know, I wasn't allowed to do a lot. So he was in college, you know, living the college life, just pure freedom, you know. He's 18, I'm 15 at the time, you know. He started dating this girl at his school, and I was crushed. When I was 16, I had my first boyfriend, and my parents finally, like, let me date, y'all. I dated this guy that I met at my friend's church for, like, three months. We were together for 3 months, and, you know, I was still a virgin, and he wasn't, and I was a junior in high school. He was a freshman in college. He was, you know, 18. And he had a lot more freedom than I did, you know. And like I said, my parents were very strict. So he ended up cheating on me with his ex-girlfriend, you know. And, I mean, I was hurt, but I wasn't, like, heartbroken because we only dated for 3 months. And also, I was still, like, infatuated with, you know, with him. I spent the rest of my, like, teenage years just super unattached, and I was just, like, so, like, nonchalant. Like, I didn't want to, like, I would entertain them, but I just wasn't, I wouldn't take them seriously. So I guess you can say that I wasn't a heartbreaker, like, not intentionally, but I just, you know, guys would like me, and then in my heart would be the first guy. You know, he kept coming in and out of my life. Like, even though he was in college, he would still, like, call me, like, just to check up on me and things like that. So it's just, like, if I would start talking to a guy that was in high school with me, like, I would, it's like no one compared to him at that time in my life. In the meantime, he was living the college life, you know, parties, going to clubs, girls, you know, and he had just turned 20, and I was 17. I was a senior in high school, and I remember just wanting to give up on him because I was like, maybe I am too young for him. I saw he was dealing with different girls in college, and we remained friends, you know. But, you know, when you that young, like 15, you know, and you think you in love, you don't know what love is. So that's why I'm calling it infatuation. But back then, I swore I was in love with this dude. But I ended up dating this guy my senior year because I was trying to really get over the situation. Like, I saw he was out there living life and things like that. So I tried to move on. And I liked my little high school boyfriend, you know, but the first guy was still in my heart. You know what I mean? I thought I was in love, but it was pure infatuation. And it always stayed in my heart that he wanted to date me when I graduated high school. So that's what I had in my head the whole time in high school. My high school graduation came, and he called me literally the day after my graduation and asked me on a date. So I ended up breaking up with my high school boyfriend, and I felt really bad about it. But I had to follow my heart. You know, I actually told him about I told him about it. You know what I mean? Like, in our relationship, I told him about it. And, like, he knew of him. Like, he knew how much I was, like, infatuated with him or whatever. But I told him that he hurt me because he was dating other girls and things like that, you know? Which he should, because, I mean, when you're in college, that's what you do. And I'm still in high school living this little sheltered life, you know, so I didn't blame him, you know, but I was, like, hurt. So he kept his word, and we went to the movies, That was our first date. And I just remember just being super nervous and super quiet. I was so quiet and so nervous. I told him at the end of the date that, like, I broke up with my ex to be with him. And I said, I waited for you for 3 years. Like, you told me you wanted to date me. And now that I'm graduated, like, from high school, you know, like, I was waiting for you this whole time. So I don't know if that, like, scared him away. He probably felt pressure. But, I mean, I wasn't really pressuring him. But we didn't talk much after that. After that summer, we didn't talk much. I remember I got my car the month after that in July. Got my license in my car. And I remember we talked like a little bit, but that was really it. We didn't really communicate until we ended up going to the same college that same year. So I had just turned 18 and he was 21. So we ended up going to the same college in Cumberland County. I was the new girl on campus from a whole different county. I didn't really know a lot of people like that. And so I was getting a lot of attention, and he was the star of the basketball team. So was he. So he was a star of the basketball team in high school and college. He started dating this girl on campus, and I was just so hurt because I was like, dang, like I waited for this boy for 3 years. But they ended up getting engaged, and then they broke up. So I was done at that point. Like, I was done. Like, once he got into a relationship with her, I was done. I'm young or whatever, but I was just like, okay, we go to the same school. Like, I got my car. Like, there's no excuse now. Like, we can actually start to build something now or whatever. But he ended up being with her. So I was hurt, and I just decided to move on. And I ended up getting into my first serious relationship of 4 years after that. And I really was not ready to be in a relationship with him, because I spent all of my high school years like waiting to be with this boy, like just super infatuated with him. And you know, I had this boy in my heart. Honestly, a lot of guys would want to talk to me, but they just didn't compare to him. That was the first guy who ever hurt me. He was the first guy who ever hurt me. When I was a teenager, that's just how it was. I had this super nonchalant attitude towards guys, and I wouldn't get attached. And so if you knew me in high school and you like wonder why I was the way I was, you know, that's the real reason why. I had this one boy in my heart, and nobody compared to this boy. But he ended up hurting me. So, but after my 4-year relationship ended, I was living in Atlanta, and I remember he was still in Jersey. I was here. Started communicating again. I was 22 at this time. We started talking on the phone again, and he actually gave me the closure that I needed. He told me that knowing me since I was 15 and knowing how innocent and naive I was, that he didn't want to take advantage of me during that time. He wanted me to like get more life experience. He wanted me to like grow up and mature into a woman before he dated me, because he was exposed to a lot, you know, and he had done a lot, and I was just this little innocent sheltered girl from this small town, and he didn't want to, you know, take advantage of me. So I honestly respected him when he broke that down, because at that time I didn't think that way. I'm thinking, oh yeah, I'm mature enough. No, I didn't know anything about life. I didn't know anything about relationships. I didn't know anything like at that age. So, you know, I was still a virgin. Like, you know, he wanted me to like be experienced. You know what I mean? Just things like that I realized at that time, you know, why he wouldn't want to be in a serious relationship with such a young girl, you know, just mentally. He told me he was chasing his dream of basketball. I was chasing my dream of music, and he told me if it was meant to be, it'll be, you know. I'm in Atlanta, he's in Jersey, and honestly, when he said those words, like, my heart just instantly healed. Like, and it gave me the closure that I needed. Cause it made me feel like I wasn't good enough. Like, that's how I felt. I felt like, why all these guys want me? Why don't he like me? You know what I mean? Like, why don't he want to be with me? So it made me question myself. Like, it made me question my self-worth, honestly. And I had a lot of emotional baggage. I did. Like, so I brought that into my relationship of 4 years. But that's how long it affected my relationships. Like, it took, at 22, that's what it took for me to get that closure. Initially, I told him that I wasn't emotionally ready to be with anybody because I was still fresh off from that situation. Like, my first year of college is when I decided to move on from him. And then a couple months later, you know, the guys were for 4 years, he's telling me that he's claiming me when I'm not even emotionally ready to be with him. I also had a college crush that same year, and he ended up asking me on a date the same week that I got into my 4-year relationship. Like, the same week. And I told him no, I couldn't go on a date because I just got into a relationship. But he kept trying to interfere with my relationship over like the first like 2 years. Like, he would still like call me and text me and things like that, whatever. And I was just still immature. So I was 18 and I was just still immature. So like, I would still like be friends with him and things like that. Like I said, I was just very standoffish when it came to my emotions and things like it took me a while to fall in love with my boyfriend of 4 years, but I decided to try and move on. So I did end up falling for my boyfriend of 4 years, like, you know, and he became my best friend. We were both 18, fresh out of high school, and you know, he helped me write songs. He helped me practice doing interviews. He helped me with my stage presence. He helped me rehearse. He helped me become an artist. He really did. He helped groom me as an artist. And we were just 18 and in love with each other. You know, I was super supportive of his career. He was a musician, you know, he was always in the studio and doing shows, and I used to always go to his shows, and we used to do shows together, and I used to go to all his studio sessions and interviews, everything. Like, we supported each other in the beginning, you know, so that became a new chapter. But I'm not going to go into detail about everything, because from when you're in a relationship from 18 to 22, those are like your prime young years. You're still getting to know yourself. You're still maturing. Like, you're still trying to figure out life, you know. And it honestly was a roller coaster. Like, we both had to mature. Like going from 18 to 19, 19 to 20, 20 to 21, and then 22. Like, we grew together. You know what I'm saying? But the way that we grew, it was like, you know, like, we didn't grow together. We grew, but not in the same way, if that makes sense. He resented me for things that I did. I resented him for things that he did. And we still stayed together. Like, he was there for me during my times, you know what I'm saying, that I needed someone to be there for me, and vice versa, you know. But our relationship was not healthy at the end of the day. And we both had our own separate issues that we had to deal with, you know, internally, like with our parents and things like that. We both had to deal with our issues. Like, we both had a lot of issues to deal with within ourselves, and it affected our relationship. We did end up moving to Atlanta together, and we moved to Atlanta with those same issues. He was 21, I was 20, and all I wanted was for him to just grow and be the man that I always wanted him to be. Because, like, when you're 18, you don't really, if you go on a date when you're 18, you know, sometimes you can split the bill. It's fine, you're kids, like, we can split the bill, whatever. But now we're 20, 21, and it's like, I'm becoming a woman, you know, like I'm wanting to feel special and like be treated as a woman, not a little girl anymore, you know. And I'm seeing, and so I didn't feel like I was being treated the way that I wanted to be treated. One thing that I wanted, I remember when we had the conversation coming down to Atlanta, I said that I just wanted him to be independent. And, you know, I was independent. So, you know, I was independent, so I expected him to want to be independent, you know. But he didn't. He was, you know, he was okay with his dad and other people paying his bills and things like that. So I just started losing respect for him as a man. You know, our relationship started falling apart. And I started wanting to like explore my options. Like I'm like, this ain't it. In the beginning of our relationship, he wanted to marry me. You know what I mean? But I questioned marrying him because I'm like, you don't even want to take care of yourself. How you gonna, you know what I mean? How you gonna get married if you don't even want to take care of yourself? So I started thinking like, this isn't what I want. Like I don't want to be in this type of relationship anymore. I knew that I deserved better. And I knew that there was another man out there that was going to treat me better. Period. I mean, it sounds rude, but I mean, that's how I felt. If other people are constantly telling you that you deserve better, you deserve to be treated better, you deserve to be treated like a queen, you got everybody telling you this. You got your friends telling you this. You got your family telling you this. You got strangers telling you this. You start believing it. You know what I mean? And like I said, I was still young. And I was still trying to figure out what I wanted. But I knew that that's not the type of relationship that I wanted long term. So I broke up with him. I started over in Atlanta by myself. I was hurt because I was more hurt because it didn't work. Like I had spent 4 years of my life with this person and it did not work. I honestly did care and love him, but I knew that I knew he wasn't the one. It hurt to let go. When you really do care and love for somebody, that's what hurt the most. It's like having to let go. Because he was my best friend at one point in time, but he just wasn't the man for me, you know, like long term. Like he wasn't my husband. So I had to let that go. And I told a lot of this story, like more of what happened in that relationship in my other vlogs or whatever, because that was such a big part of my life. And it was to this day, it's my only serious relationship I've ever been in. Like that's the only relationship where I was in a committed, like, relationship. That was my love life as a teenager / growing into adulthood. Now, being single as an adult, I was 22. That was the first year that I had ever been single as an adult. And I was in Atlanta still, you know, I was in this phase where I just was very nonchalant. Like I had the same nonchalant attitude towards guys. Like I did not want to be in a relationship. I was not emotionally ready, period. I got into situationships where I wasn't ready to commit because I needed to heal. I needed time to heal from all that. Like, that was a lot for me. So from 22 to 24, y'all, I partied a lot and I did not take guys seriously at all. It took me 2 years to work on myself and to heal myself from all that emotional trauma. So I just remember on my 24th birthday, I was in the shower and I literally said a prayer to God, just telling him that, you know, I've spent time on myself and I worked on myself. And at 24, I was ready to, you know, be in a healthy, committed relationship. I was open at 24 to be in a committed relationship again. And then I met Seasons, the guy I wrote Seasons about. I already told the story on my other vlog. I met him, and long story short, you know, he had a girlfriend. The whole 8 months we were seeing each other, and he broke my heart. It was the most hurt I've ever been by a man, like, ever. I was so freaking distraught and heartbroken over that. And I became celibate for a year, and I did not want to date once again. So I did all that work on myself and ended up getting heartbroken again, you know. But honestly, I believe it was like karma, honestly, because like I said, during my teenage years, like I wouldn't call myself a heartbreaker because I wasn't trying to intentionally hurt nobody. But like I said, guys would want to talk to me and date me. And because I had that guy in my heart in high school, I was not 100% committed. You know, like I didn't want to pursue anything further. So these guys would really, really like me. And they'll be wondering why she don't want to be with me. And that was the reason why. It was nothing personal. I'm pretty sure you were awesome. It was nothing wrong with you. It was me. So, same thing for college. Like, a lot of guys want to date me in college. That's the reason why. I've honestly turned down a lot of good guys in my life. Like, a lot of good guys have tried to date me. A lot of good guys, you know, wanted me for the right reasons. And they liked me for me. And I just was emotionally unavailable at the time. Yes, you can say that I have hurt people, but it's not intentionally. So, like I said, maybe that was my karma for doing that and acting that way. It wasn't malicious. Like, I wasn't out here just trying to break hearts. Like, that wasn't my plan. It was just I was emotionally unavailable. So, like I said, it took for me to mature to realize that at the end of the day. Going through those situations helped me grow, y'all. It really did. And I wouldn't be the strong woman that I am today without going through those situations. So I have no regrets. I'm proud to say that I have no emotional baggage. I have a peaceful, clean slate. Like right now, there is no baggage. There's nothing, you know, like I'm 100% just free and open. There's no one in my past that I want. You know what I mean? Like I've moved on and I've grown and I'm in a good space. Still pursuing my music dream and I'm happily single. I am open to dating, but I'm at the point right now where I know I'm about to make this transition to LA, and you know, I don't think dating is a good idea right now, because like why would I get close to somebody now if I know I'm leaving, you know? But I am very optimistic about my love life, y'all. My future, like I know God is gonna bring the right man in my life when the time is right. But at the end of the day, I just want somebody who is going to respect me. Like I want to be treated with respect, and I want them to love me for me. Like I want them to genuinely like love me for like my soul, you know? Like not for my body or like my sex, you know what I'm saying? You know, because I'm a Leo, so I'm just kidding. But I'm just saying, like, I just want somebody to love me for me. Like, love my soul. And vice versa. Like, I want to love them for them. Like, I don't want to love them because they got good, like, pipe game. Like, nah. Like, sex should be, like, the icing on the cake. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be the reason why you really like somebody. You should like somebody because of who they are, like their soul, like, you know, like who they genuinely are. I honestly do want to fall in love again, y'all, because I told y'all I'm a hopeless romantic, like, you know, but I want him to be my best friend, and I just want him to be understanding and supportive of my goals, because I have a lot of goals, y'all. I have big goals, and they demand a lot of time away from each other and, you know, energy. But I just believe two people can make it work if they're understanding, you know, if they're understanding and supportive and know the bigger picture. You're looking at the bigger picture, you know, and you're genuinely trying to build a life together. I'm in a great space in my life, and I've overcome the heartbreak in my life, and I'm very, very happy to say that. Like, I'm very happy to say that I have gotten over all the emotional baggage, all the emotional traumas in my life, and my heart is pure and open. You know, it has to be the right time. I base everything off of God. I want a God-centered relationship. Like, God is our creator. Like, how can you not like have a relationship with God these days? Like, you need a relationship with God, like, seriously, just to get through life. Hopefully you can overcome your heartbreaks and your baggage and whatever you've been through emotionally, y'all. It's very important to heal and take time out for yourself. During my healing process, the biggest things that have helped me heal is reading a lot of self-help books, positive thinking books, optimism, a lot of prayer, tons and tons of prayer. I've written my feelings down. I've just given myself a lot of self-love, just reading affirmations about myself, like just boosting myself up and just knowing like my value and my worth. I know how I want to be treated at the end of the day, and I'm not gonna settle for anybody. And I just have high standards for myself because I've dealt with guys who didn't give me high standards, like, because I was so in a low place, and so people could take advantage of that. So always boost yourself up, always like make sure your spirits are always high despite your circumstances. Just always boost yourself up, always remain in a high energy so that nobody can bring you down, because whenever you go down, that's what you attract. If your energy goes down, you're going to attract that low energy of people, that same vibration, So if you always radiate at a high energy, you're going to attract that high energy. I love y'all so much, and I just want the best for y'all, and I just want you to overcome what you've been through in your life so that you could be happy, genuinely happy. At the end of the day, it's all about growth. It's all about working on yourself and elevating and healing. And God can't bring somebody into your life if you're blocking it. You gotta learn to let go, sis or bro. You gotta let go. If you genuinely want God's best, you have to let go and you have to grow. At the end of the day, it's gonna be painful. It's gonna take some time, but you will get there. I believe you will. So I love y'all so much. Thank you so much for tuning in Star Circle Sunday, and I will talk to y'all soon. I love y'all so much. You have a blessed day and a happy Easter. Make sure you pray and always keep that communication with God. Even if you don't go to church today, it's okay. Just make sure you pray and you keep that relationship with God, y'all, okay? I love y'all so much. Have a great day. Mwah.